Hello, I'm back. It's still Tuesday. I think I'll do a video, a bit of a Dear Diary entry, if that's okay with you folks. I hope everyone's doing all right. I really do. But I'm really seeing where anxiety and stress is bringing out the worst in a lot of people. The rise in xenophobia, violence against Asian Americans. I just unfriended a couple of people, a couple of Trump supporters who I dearly love, but they are just really, really lost. So, still supporting that son of a bitch. I also unfriended someone whose hysteria was like, I don't need this. Now it's being directed at me, and it's like, I've been through this before with this person where, I love them, but it's like, no, I don't have time for that shit right now, okay? So you'd be hysterical at other people. So, you know what my biggest issue is? Is that I got dicked on a record order. I'm still waiting over a week. And I called the guy, and this is the last time I'm ordering from him. I'm not saying the name again. It's like, the conversation was disappointing. Let me just put it like that. My God, So, with any luck, the records are supposed to arrive tomorrow. Shit, I ordered these records 2 Saturdays ago. Okay, do you feel me now? All right. So here's something else kind of interesting about the Times. Now we know that Facebook is privately owned, but censorship and fascism truly is happening, people. It's, for example, the Italian jazz progressive rock band Area. This is their album Arbeit, Macht, Frei. Something about workers free the workers or something. If I'm not mistaken, this was a sign above the camps at Auschwitz. Is that right? Anyway, recently, folks who've been posting the record just to post it have been getting it banned and pulled by Facebook because of these words. So what I did was, just now, I have all of Area's main albums, all 8 of the main albums. So I posted a picture just saying my Area collection, not posting the titles to see if it will get banned. So far it hasn't. I think it's only getting banned because of those words. These are strange times, people. This is not a good development, okay? And that unhinged press conference that Trumpy Dumpy had yesterday, how can you possibly still make an excuse for that sick man at this point? How? How can you tell me that what he's doing is somehow good for anyone? Please tell me. Because you can't. You can't. We have a mentally ill man in the presidency. And because of money and materialism and greed, people are making excuses left and right for that motherfucker. Okay. You want to see some music? I'll show you some music. What have I played? I pulled some records to play. I won't show those. I listened to this last night all the way through. It's basically Pekka Pohjola's album, The Mathematician's Air Display. But it was licensed to a label out of Germany, and they put it out touting it like this. Now, I'm going to make an observation, and I know that this is accurate because I deal with it all the time. When I posted this in certain groups, I got jumped on by purist, I'm going to say it, purist white collectors. I deal with this where I come across these collectors who see what I'm posting, then they see who I am, and somehow I'm discredited. pretty much the thought is like, well, that black guy, he couldn't know what he's talking about. Black people don't know about this music. I've dealt with it all my life. So I've dealt with it when I posted this. Some of the, if you follow them, if you're in my groups, look at what some folks said. And I didn't bother to respond to them except to post a picture of me showing this, okay? I get tired of it. It's real. Discrimination, bigotry, racism, double standards. It's bullshit. Deal with it all the time. Delired Cameleon Family. Cyril Bordeaux of Clearlight. This was a soundtrack for a film that he did. I like this better than most Clearlight albums. Gilbert Artman is on here and some other big names in France, French underground music. Really good album. And I played this because someone was showing some Clearlight online, and I said, I haven't listened in a while. And this album, really, I like. The cover is the best part of this. There's like maybe 1.5 decent tracks on here. What it sounds like to me is that Cyril Bordeaux was able to get money to do sessions, and he got the people to play, but it sounds like they're just all jamming at once, that it was not well organized. So there's times when it's rather irritating. It's like everyone's just blowing at once. They're not listening to each other. But that's a keeper. I'm not getting rid of that album. Elvin Jones is on the mountain. Yeah, Elvin Jones liked to drink, and so, in my opinion, that's what you see with this picture. It's not a very flattering picture. But I understand the minds of people who use heavily. It's like, he ain't thinking about that. He don't care. It's probably how he was feeling is why he was cool with this picture. This album is fantastic. With Jan Hammer and Gene Perla. Just wonderful. Wonderful album. You put this album on and the day gets brighter. It really does. Just putting that music on. Listened to some Mad Professor last night. Dub reggae. Excellent album. This one is called Science and the Witch Doctor, Volume 9. Mad Professor. Excellent. I was showing this yesterday because it's Raymond Pettibon's Torches and Standards. Raymond Pettibon is the artist, brother of Greg Ginn, who started SST Records. Raymond Pettibon did a lot of artwork for SST, including designing the Black Flag logo and the SST logo. And he put out this album. I came across it years ago and bought it because it's a picture disc. I got it at a good price, but it's a picture disc. And I thought, well, that's interesting. This is not really that good musically, but it's kind of an interesting character study because this guy is he's an artist, and a lot of artists have mental issues. Some are more obvious than others. The lyrics and the talking on this album, this man is not well put together. He's an artist, so some of the talk on here is just crazy, and some of the music sounds like Sonic Youth. So there was another passing of a musician. They're passing every day. Japanese fusion jazz guitarist Ryo Kawasaki passed away yesterday. I don't have any of his solo albums. He had a very distinct style. It was kind of wild, following in the footsteps, I think, of John McLaughlin. But his playing was so wild that it kind of put me off, so I didn't follow him. But I have him on some records. This album by Teo Macero, the guy that produced most of Miles Davis's greatest albums on Columbia. It's called Fusion. It's an orchestral piece, but Kawasaki plays some very cool guitar on this album. And another album I have with him on, this is by a Sam Morrison, a sax player. One of those records that got put out in Japan and then finally picked up over here in America and released later. But this could be a Ryo Kawasaki album. His solos on here are the highlight, even more so than the Mr. Morrison. Dune. I like that cover. So this is a good example of Kawasaki's playing. He's got several solo albums, but I've never bought them. Listen to some Keith Jarrett yesterday. I love Keith Jarrett's playing, but depending on the session, he will moan and sing while soloing so loud that it is a distraction. And this is one of those albums. His playing on here is, God, just amazing. But he's feeling it so much that you hear him, and that sucks. Changes by Keith Jarrett, along with Gary Peacock and Jack DeJohnette. Everyone's playing on this album is stellar. It's fantastic. I was showing picture discs yesterday, but not playing them so much. This is 13th Floor Elevators, Easter Everywhere. Now, my favorite album by them is Bull of the Woods. I need to get a copy of that on vinyl again. I used to have it, sold it like a dumbass. But this is a great psychedelic album. Every track on this is really cool. I played the CD. But that's a neat looking picture disc, isn't it? And I started my day yesterday with this, with Stevie Wonder. Hotter Than July. What a joyous album. Really got my day started off well. It's signed by Hank Red. Hank Red played sax in Stevie Wonder's band, but also he was uncredited for writing out the horn arrangements. When the horns play on several of Stevie's albums, including the one about plants, that's Hank Red's work. Hank is from Omaha, and we've become friends in the last few years, and he's told me some great stories about working not only with Stevie Wonder, but with a lot of great people. He was friends with Michael Jackson. That's pretty damn cool. That's what I want to share right now, people. Send love. I do want to bag on the American presidency. Our president is a psychopathic, dangerous man. Dangerous. You know, why at this point would you make any excuse except you're believing some bullshit too? I just hope we make it out of this dark corner intact with no real leadership when we need it. Last thing I'll share is this morning. I had another lesson with my young student, and it was a challenge. He really is practicing and getting good fast. I'm glad that what I'm doing is helping him, but I also told him that I'm going to look for an online source to help me help you, because we're at a point where I taught myself, and there's a lot of things about music I don't know. I just know how to play. I hear it, I can play it. So I can help you do that. But the mechanics, it gets mystical to me. Okay, keep smiling, people.